Hey y'all, Jamie here, proud 55-year-old trans woman from New Orleans. So, where last I left off, listen, I was at home. I was working the ads in the Gambit in New Orleans, Louisiana, and it was 1994. The ads in the back of the Gambit were for massages. And so I would place my ads for massages and I would say, go try the rest, then come see the best TS. And I went by the name Celeste. And yeah, I would say ask about my stimulating specialties, which were, to be honest, it was just fantasy fulfillment. Look, if they wanted to ask about the stimulating specialties, it was, what's your fantasy? Honey, if you can afford it, I'll supply it. I mean, that's basically what it was. So I was at home this one night. Mickey was out working, and I got a phone call. And I had caller ID. Caller ID was new in those days, and it was really brand new in those days, in fact. And the call came up payphone. When I answered it, it was a deep male voice, and it was screaming at me, "You're gonna die, you fucking faggot whore, and I'm gonna kill you, and I'm gonna chop you up into a million pieces." Yeah. And he hung up. Like, he hung up after that, right? So this became a little pattern. This son of a bitch, whoever he was, would call me from different payphones around the city, called me at least 2 or 3 times a week, like at least 2 or 3 times a week. And I would get these phone calls every single time. It was threatening to chop me up, it was threatening to butcher me, to murder me, to see what my insides look like, all of that shit, all of that freaky horror movie shit. That's what he was threatening every single time. Did I call the police? No. Should I have? Yes, but I was a prostitute. Okay, you get it? Like, I was a hooker. I was running illegal ads. I mean, the ads weren't illegal, but what I was doing through the ads was very illegal. So, how was I going to report that? Which, frankly, is why, honestly, y'all, that's why so many freaks like serial killers and sexual predators, they target people who are in the sex industry because we can't say anything. We can't report them. And who's going to care if we do? Nobody's going to give a shit if we're being assaulted. They don't care. Society doesn't care. As far as society is concerned, honey, it's getting all the right people. And so, yeah, this went on. Look, this stalker went on for probably 5 years. It probably went on for about 5 years. And I would periodically get these calls every week for like 5 years. And I got to tell you, one of the things that made me do, I reevaluated my own personal security and how I took care of that as far as working the ads and being a prostitute and knowing that I had strange men coming into my home, and I started thinking, like, what am I going to do if something happens? What happens if it happens here by the front door? What happens if it happens there by the bedroom? So I started hiding weapons literally all over my home. I had weapons hidden. If any particular spot that I was standing in my home where I would be dealing with a client, I was within arm's reach of a weapon of some kind. Knife, bat, pipe, you name it. Didn't have guns. Didn't have guns. Not at that time. Not at that time. I have had guns, but not at that time. And yeah, so I had weapons. I had butcher knives on all four corners of my bed, along the bed rail, where the box spring meets the bed frame. Yeah, I had butcher knives at all four corners of the bed so that no matter which part of the bed I was in, if they got me, honey, I could reach down, grab that knife, and I would get you together. I would get you together. I'd show you I was the wrong one. And one of the things I would do, listen, this guy would call, and after a while, I just snapped. I snapped. And when he would call, I would cuss him out right back. You know what? Show your fucking face up here, motherfucker. Show up. Show up at my goddamn door and see what the fuck happens to you. And I'd tell him, you think you're going to gut me? Bitch, I'll gut you first. Now, how do you like them apples? Girl, I was not. Yeah, I was upset. I was upset over those calls. I mean, what else was how else was I supposed to react? So I'm still having to work the ads. Like, I still needed money, and life is going on. Mickey and I celebrated our, God, what was that, our fourth anniversary that year? Yeah, and I remember, like, we danced in our living room, slow dance with candles and The whole 9 yards. We were still in love in those days. Ah, sweet love. Even when we were fucking each other over every chance we got and screwing everybody in town behind each other's backs. But ah, sweet love. So, anyway, I'm still working the ads. And clients would come over. Look, I would have guys show up, businessmen in full three-piece suits that would pull off the suit, and they'd be standing there in like red lace panties and garter belts and stockings and bras. Loved red lace for some reason. These conservative businessmen love them some red lace underneath their suits, honey. They live for that shit. And yeah, so I would get those. A lot of my fantasy fulfillment stuff was for that. And as I said, the stimulating specialties, honey, they would ask. I gave a lot of body rubs in those days, but they did ask about those stimulating specialties. So I had a customer show up one day, and I thought it was the exterminator. He was the exterminator from my apartment complex. Literally, he came to our apartment. In New Orleans, they have an issue with roaches and stuff. So every single month, he would come to our apartment every single month like clockwork, and he would spray for roaches. He showed up at my door, and I thought he was there to spray for roaches. He was not. He was not. He was there to see Celeste. And I brought him in the room. After we straightened that out, I brought him in the room, and he looks at me and he says, I have a fantasy. And I said, okay, what is it? He said, I want to be raped by you. And if y'all want to know what happened next, y'all know the routine, honey, around here. Be here next time, and I will too. I love you all. I love you all for watching, and I love you for the comments. Please repost this. It helps. Talk to you later. Bye bye.